Starting things off, sorry if this review feels a little bit more relaxed than normal. It's really hot in England today, so I just wanted to try and do a chilled out review, or as much as possible. But here's the thing with the Purge films. Here's something I've noticed when watching them. Why do people stay? Like, if you've got the luxury of going away at that point in time, like, just go on holiday. Like, oh, it's Purge week, let's go to Canada.
One night only. Rest of the year is peaceful.
Help me! Help me! The purge is over, please!
No, it ain't.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, well, if I'm being completely honest, I thought that this whole franchise was done by now. Obviously not, because we've got a new Purge film out in cinemas, and it is called The Forever Purge. What we have on our hands here is pretty much the same premise for the past few films. One night a year, the citizens of America can commit whatever crime they wish, and they are free of any and all legal consequences. Except this time, when the siren announces the end in the morning, one radical group continues sparking all-out mayhem across the country. So, this should be quite a short video to talk about. I mean, if you're a fan of the Purge films, by this point, this one is just more of the same. I've got to be honest, these films just haven't done it for me. I think the first Purge, as in the first one that was released, and not the film called The First Purge, because that gets really confusing. But the first Purge film that was released, the one in 2013, the one starring Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey, I mean, it's terrible. It's honestly one of my least favorite horror films that came out in that time, populated with stupid characters, a premise that was just not fully capitalized on. I don't hate the movie, I very, very strongly dislike it though. And the other ones, you had The Purge Anarchy and The Purge Election Year, both starring Frank Grillo, and those were a bit of a step up, primarily because you didn't have as stupid of characters, but again, it was just kind of senseless violence, always feeling like they're clawing for a message, but never really having the guts to say something big and impactful. And then you had The First Purge. Again, The First Purge, the title, not the first one that was released. And that was probably the best that they've done so far, because it felt like it had something to say, and it used it somewhat effectively. It also helped that they just steered away from the horror genre entirely and became much more action oriented. And when it comes to The Forever Purge, it's by no means the worst that they've ever done, but we're back to formula. In this one, we meet a group of characters. They're given a lackadaisical reason for existing and why we're following them, just so we can have like the tiniest semblance of care towards these people. The Purge starts, and then the Purge keeps going even when the sirens are finished. And yeah, violence and mayhem and chaos and a lot of people wearing masks. And in this one, our two sets of characters are very different. You've got two Mexican immigrants, Ana de la Guerra and Tenoch Huerta. They come into America looking for a new life to escape the presence of the cartel in Mexico, and they end up surviving alongside this Texan family that own a ranch, and some of them have prejudices, whereas some of them are actually just decent people. Ana de la Reguera's character is probably the most interesting because there is a general sense of mystery and intrigue to her character. Josh Lucas, once again, is playing a douchebag that I feel like that's all he seems to ever do now in films. And then you've got Tenoch Huerta, who plays the husband of this Mexican couple. I just found his performance very wooden. There's no emotion behind the things he says and what he does. I feel like you just needed so much more motivation behind him, and he wasn't bringing it. As for the rest of the actors, I mean, they are exactly what you would expect in a Purge film. And I think that sums up this movie perfectly, is that everything you see is exactly what you would expect to see in the 5th Purge film. And it's up to you as to whether you want to take that as a good thing or a bad thing. No real surprises here, but the political themes and undertones that this movie is expressing, yeah, they're timely, but they are handled with the subtlety of, I mean, there's no subtlety to them whatsoever. Obviously, they're a direct comparison to Trump's America, with secret militias and white nationalists roaming the streets and causing havoc. And you've only got to cast your mind back to earlier this year at the beginning of January, when we saw them raid and attack the Capitol in Washington. And I thought that there would have been a way, even though I think this film was filmed and shot before that even happened, there was a way you could probably, in post-production, tie that in and really make it feel terrifying, because across the world it was a really frightening moment. But they don't, because instead they just choose to go about the general Purge outline that we've seen time and time again. Once it fits into that outline, I can't express to you just how bored I was. I kept checking my watch to see how long I had left. And the action is okay, you know, like, it's competently shot. There's a one-er towards the middle of the film that was very impressive, although it didn't really serve a purpose. It was definitely included just for, like, a gimmick. But in my honest opinion about this whole series, they had a concept that was probably pretty good on paper, but I'm sorry, if you've had 5 films and a TV show and you still haven't cracked it yet, then, I mean, I don't know if it's just worth waving your white flag. After this 5th film, I really just can't see anywhere that this franchise can go, anything it can do to kind of revitalize itself, or at the very least hook me in. I'm really not fussed about this series anymore. If they make a 6th, if they make a 7th, unless they do something that is really going to pull me in, I'm probably just going to skip it. The Forever Purge will probably go down well with those that have tolerated the series so far, but there's no chance this is going to win anyone over. The performances are weak from almost all of the cast. The story is hamstrung together with blatant political tape that cannot fully immerse itself into the plot. I mean, as Purge films go, this isn't like a sinner, but it is probably the most formulaic. Overall, I'm going to give The Forever Purge a 5.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on The Forever Purge. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, I want to know, a hypothetical one, don't worry, you're not being taped. If the Purge were a thing, what would you do? Would you stay? Would you participate? Or would you do the sensible thing and get the hell out of there? But as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.